Hello everybody, my name is Juan Ortega and I'm from the HARP lab at CMU Robotics Institute. This joint work with my teammates, Simitri Patwari, Shangfei Li, and Jitsu Wu, and we were advised by Professor Henny Armoni. We're presenting privacy-preserving motivational interviewing classification for physical therapy adherence. Roughly half of patients don't complete their prescribed physical therapy programs. Our lab research focuses on how social assistive robot coaches can intervene, but robots can only respond intelligently if it understands what the patient just said, specifically whether they are expressing willingness to change, resistance, or something neutral. These are sensitive health conversations, which means the classifier must run locally, so not cloud APIs. Motivational interviewing is a counseling framework that treats patients' language as the behavior change signal. It defines three client talk types: change, neutral, and sustain. The AnnoMI corpus provided 133 annotated therapy transcripts. Prior classification work exists, but relies on cloud models. This is an application problem. We apply existing encoder and fine-tuning methods to AnnoMI, 4,817 client utterances from 103 therapy transcripts, split disjointly by transcript to prevent leakage. The columns show why the task is hard. Changing neutral are stable across splits, but sustain sits below 10% everywhere. Our minority class. As we'll show, it's also the class that drives every meaningful performance gap in the project. Our pipeline is a sentence encoder followed by a lightweight classifier. We switch the encoder from small frozen models up to 8 billion parameters, Quen retrieval model. For the fine-tuned variant, we added LoRA adapters on the attention projection. This trained just 0.3% of the parameters and fits on a single 24 GB GPU. We use class-weight cross-entropy so the minority sustain class isn't ignored. Our primary metric is macro F1, which weights every class equally, essential under this imbalance. We run 22 experiments. Our baseline is mini LM, a small frozen encoder with an MLP head, macro F1 of 0.54, and from there we see 3 axes: encoder scale, training regime, and whether gradients flow into the encoder. We also benchmark GPT-4o Mini as a cloud reference point, not a deployable system, because it violates our privacy constraints. Our winner is Quen 3 embedding 8 billion parameters with LoRA fine-tuning. Macro F1 of 0.613. Critically, that matches GPT-4o Mini with few-shot prompting, 0.613 versus 0.602, while running entirely on local hardware. And it's the first system in the project to break 0.4 on sustained F1. The minority class. That's a 23% relative improvement over baseline. The privacy-preserving path is not just viable, it's competitive with a frontier cloud model. 2 takeaways. First, scale alone isn't enough. Frozen 8 billion plateaus. The win comes from getting LoRA gradients reshape the representation from the minority class. Second, synthetic data augmentation regress tests performance in every region we tried. LM-generated paraphrases don't match the distribution of real motivational interviewing sustain talk, a clear negative result for reporting. Into the limitations, our winner still needs a GPU. Sustain remains the hardest class. We classify utterances in isolation without conversational context, and we haven't evaluated robustness to speech recognition noise. For future work, our lab's guacamole plus knowledge distillation recipe got Llama 3 8 billion to 91% of ChatGPT 3.5's quality on the Open Assistance dataset. We'll apply that same compression pipeline to our Quen 8 billion winner with the goal of deploying it on the robot itself. Privacy preserving, locally running, edge deployable motivational interviewing classification. Thank you.